Well, hello there, people in the internet, and hello again. I'm TheMBmulti. Welcome to part 5, I think, of my Doki Doki Literature Club. No, of My Doki Doki SNAFU, actually. This is not the main game, this is a mod. Yeah, part 5. I believe in the previous episodes, I can't remember, but I believe I did the book discussions with Yuri. Or I did the grocery shopping with Sayori, one of the two. Or maybe both, I don't know. It's been a while. It's been an entire year since I've recorded that. An unusual sight awaits me outside my house. It's a very bad joke. Oh no, it's Sayori. Hey Mark. Sayori is standing in front of my gate, waving cheerfully. Confused, I checked my watch to make sure I didn't accidentally leave late. This is a surprise, never expected to see you out here before me. Looks like I'm really letting myself go. Did you have to say something mean? Sorry, it's a hard mindset to get out of. That said, walking past the gate, I begin gently stroking her hair. Seeing you out here this early really is reassuring. With no follow-up sarcasm in sight, she begins fidgeting. Well, yeah. But geez, couldn't you have started by saying that, you big meanie? My words would lose their sincerity if all I did was flood you with compliments. I wouldn't complain. That a fact? Well, seeing you ready on time is worth praising, even if only occasionally. It'll save me from having to scold you for that excessive tardiness of yours. Yeah, you're starting to sound like my dad. Actually, has anyone ever said that you kinda talk like an old man? Being wise has that effect on people. Maybe it's because you're always nagging someone. Nagging, huh? Why, you little punk! She's sticking her tongue out. Well aware of what comes next, Sayori quickly jumps out of arm's reach. Oh no, sigh. Kids these days are way too rowdy. Wait, kids these days? Maybe I'm really turning into an old man. Putting my geriatric state aside, why choose today to act responsible? Huh? You're not exactly a morning person. Doubt you'd be out here at this time without having a reason. Well, guess I was kinda excited for today. Excited? She shakes her head. It's nothing. Well, if you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. Come on, we should get going. Right. Sayori saddles up beside me and begins happily humming to herself. Looks like something really has got her spirits up. Oh yeah, that's right, the meeting was cancelled. Like I said, it's been a very long time since I've recorded the previous... I believe I recorded the previous 4 episodes all in one sitting, so... And that was a while ago, so I can't really remember. But yeah, that's right, the meeting was cancelled. Oh no, weren't we having it in my house or something? I can't remember. With the meeting having been cancelled and no backup plans developed, okay, apparently that's no backup plans apparently, I leave school after the final bell. My peaceful walk home doesn't last long, however. Mark! Sayori comes jogging past the gate towards me. I'm glad I found you. You weren't in your usual classroom, so I got worried you might have already been gone. Well, there wasn't any reason to stay today. Or did you want to walk home together that badly? That's part of it, but not exactly. You see, I sorta told the others we could have a club meeting at your house. Yeah, you see? Oh, what the fuck? I didn't fucking pay attention to that. I was in the group chat. Why the hell didn't I see that? You did what? My surprise causes my words to come out with more anger than anticipated. Sorry, I just... Not used to being scorned by me, so Yuri quickly locks up, looking as though she might cry. Sorry, I didn't mean to say it like that. Where are the others right now? Are they already on their way? No, Yuri is helping Natsuki clean the home EC room. I don't know, still don't know how you pronounce it. We're gonna head over once they finished. Here, I'll tell them we won't be able to do it after all. Sayori reaches into her bag before pulling out her phone. Some guilt begins eating at me as she begins typing. It's not like there is anything lying around my house that would cause problems, but there's no telling what might come up while they're there. Only so many questions can be dodged before people start getting suspicious. Damn, what should I do? Save it. Well, obviously I'm going to stop because I want them all to have a club meeting. It's pretty silly of me that I never checked the group chat to figure out that she offered that. Also, why the hell? Because yeah, I do remember like that they were having it at my place, but because they couldn't do it at Yuri's place or at Natsuki's place or whatever. But why was nobody was suspicious about the fact that I didn't reply at all? That's a bit weird. That won't be necessary. Huh? She stops typing and looks up at me. Like I said, you don't have to cancel. Are you sure? I mean, I did tell them without even asking you. If you think it might cause problems, then... I poke her head as she begins trying to apologize. I already thought it through, don't worry. Them being there isn't inherently bad, so long as we can prevent anything regarding my situation from coming up. Though inviting people to a house that isn't yours is still pretty dumb. Right, sorry for putting you on the spot like this. Suppose this sort of thing should be expected having been around you for so long, huh? Sayori gives a weak nod while also trying to forgive herself. Luckily, she's able to regain most of her spirit by the time we reach our houses. Gotta say, I'm a little surprised they agreed to host this party at my place, considering what Natsuki put in the group chat about me and all. That's right! A fist is driven into my right arm. Ow! The hell? Did you really say that to her? Huh? Say what? You know, the thing while washing dishes. Sorry, Sayori, but I'm drawing a blank. Mind telling me exactly what you're referring to? Of course, I'm fully aware of what Natsuki posted in the group chat. I'm not, so this is actually kind of useful. Just want to see how far this girl will go. The thing with the excitement. Excrement? I don't recall that ever coming up. No, After fumbling around for a moment, Sayori stops before taking a deep breath. The thing about you getting excited from standing near her! Polar opposite to before, she yells this so loudly that I'm afraid I just developed a reputation among the neighbors. Well, aren't you going to say anything? Huh? Oh, yeah, that was definitely me. What about it? Why? You can't just say things like that. Why? I don't know. She is pretty petite. Maybe I developed a complex. Huh? Sayori reaches max panic. She spouts incomprehensible nonsense until I've had my fill. Twack! Ow! Calm down, would ya? That was a joke. Don't start saying things that'll make the homeowners association come after me. You're serious? You really didn't mean that? Of course not. Have you seen Natsuki? Stop. Period. The rest of the sentence is not necessary. Just have you seen Natsuki? Then nothing more needs to be said. Thinking something sexual about a person with so little development is beyond me. Nice. High five. SNAFU MC. I wonder how that dialogue is going to change if you actually go on the Natsuki route. Sayori looks at me with concern in her eyes while rubbing her head. Geez, you really can't say stuff like that. Do you know how hard it was to convince them that you just have a really bad sense of humor? Given that they've known me for over a week, I'd say probably not that difficult. Well, no, guess it wasn't. But still, that conversation was super awkward. I see. Sorry for making you through so much trouble. Go through so much trouble. But thanks for handling it. That's why you're my favorite. She perks up for a second but quickly comes back down. Saying stuff like that won't work on me anymore. That wasn't a throwaway compliment, I meant it. My life is a lot better with you around. Trying even harder to hide how she really feels, Sayori turns her whole body away from me. Taking this as a challenge, I decide to pull my trump card. You really are cute when you part like this, you know? This statement manages to pierce her ironclad defense, with her face soon lighting up. Jeez, you're such a bully, Mark. Hey, that a fact? Giddy from my barrage of compliments, Sayori skips happily next to me as we head towards my house. Unfortunately, her high spirits do little to help with the uneasy feeling that's begun stirring within me. My arrival home is followed by a swift sweep through the first floor, ensuring that no relics of my past are lying around. This stems more from paranoia than concern, given that I've been acutely aware of everything's placement for several years now. Sayori being Sayori makes a beeline for the couch as soon as she steps inside. Ah, this is so much more comfortable than a school desk. The sounds of her digging deeper into the cushions is audible from halfway across the room. I understand your feelings, but please try not to wear down the furniture too much. By the way, what are you doing, Mark? Just tidying up a bit. Was hoping that a clean living space would help improve my reputation. You know, make it look as though I have a sense of responsibility and all that. Aren't you going a little overboard? It's not like they're gonna come in and start searching through your cabinets. Better safe than sorry. You never know when dealing with Natsuki. Right. Having made sure the first floor is thoroughly devoid of anything problematic, I slump down next to Sayori. Speaking of the others, where are they now? They just messaged me saying they were on their way. Natsuki actually lives in this area, so finding your house shouldn't be an issue. In that case, I stand back up before starting towards the kitchen. Where are you going? Figured I'd get some tea ready. Knowing Yuri, she'll probably want some, and it wouldn't hurt to have for everyone else. Some nervousness begins eating at me as I approach the sink. Having felt anything Having felt anything like this in quite... Did you mean haven't felt anything like this in quite some time? I think that's what you mean. But knowing Sayori, if anything potentially problematic does come up, she'll change the subject. Come to think of it, most guys would be anxious about having a bunch of girls at their house for other reasons. But here I am thinking I'll be exposed somehow. Guessing all these years alone haven't done much to unwarp my personality. A twisted grin crawls across my face before realizing this. Knock. Coming! The front door opens, I guess. The front door opens as I pick up the tray, carrying the cups and kettle. The living room is soon filled with several familiar faces. Hello Mark, sorry for intruding like this. No worries, Yuri. Did you two have any problems finding the place? Not at all. Apparently Natsuki passes this house during her commute every morning. That a fact? Yeah, so what? It's not like I walk this way just to pass by here. Certainly hope not, that'd make me feel quite unsettled. The scene in front of me plays out totally different to how I expected. In my head, Yuri was the super nervous one in this situation, but Natsuki being the one making herself at home, acting as though she owned the place. But right now, Yuri appears calm while Natsuki's eyes are darting all over the room. Looking for anything specific? No. Sayori said that you kept the place clean, so I was making sure she wasn't lying. Sorry to disappoint you, but I have a tendency to be fastidious, I guess. I don't even know. It's not like I've never heard the word before, but it's like I've very rarely heard that word, ever. When dealing with neatness. Huh? Yeah, exactly. It means he shows excessive delicacy and care when cleaning. Very nice, just what I expect from such an avid reader. Thank you for the praise, but you're the one who deserves acknowledgement for using such a word. Ugh. Can you at least wait until we sit down before you start flirting? Flirting? That's not... Natsuki... Sayori is immediately jealous. Speaking of which, feel free to make yourselves at home. I prepared some tea in advance, let me know if you want a cup. The tea serves as a good means of restoring order, as all the girls are soon settled into the living room. Natsuki and Yuri sit next to each other on one couch, with me and Sayori sitting across from them. Once everyone has been handed a drink, I speak up again in hopes of diffusing any remaining tension. So Yuri told me that you ended up staying late to clean the home ec room. That's correct. Sorry to leave you waiting, but the room was rather untidy. Not really. The teacher didn't even ask me to clean the whole room, just to do the dishes again. But as soon as Yuri got there, she started wiping down everything she could see. We were only late because she had to practically be dragged out once I had finished. But ignoring such a mess would be, well... Do you enjoy cleaning, Yuri? Most students wouldn't go out of their way like that. You could say that. I actually find the act of cleaning to be quite relaxing. That a fact? In that case, I'll consider leaving the place a little untidy next time you come over. Next time? Huh? Pain appears in my temples as all the girls enter a panic state once again. Lay off, you two, and didn't mean it like that. Only gigolos and what the hell, debtors curd women in the presence of others. I lean back into the couch and let out a sigh while waiting for everyone to become less flustered. Sayori nudges me in the arm soon after. How come you never leave it dirty for me? What the hell are you talking about? You said you would for Yuri. Seriously? Sayori, you don't even clean your own house. Why would I think you'd clean mine? That's a good point, actually. Her goofiness only serves to strengthen the tension in my temples. Huh? Hearing Natsuki mumble to herself, I glance up to see her once again scanning the room. Bathrooms in the hall, first door on the right. That's not what I was looking for. Well, is there anything you are looking for? Or perhaps you have an interest in architecture? How about neither? I was just wondering where your parents were since I haven't seen anyone else. Even though I'm prepared for inquiries like this, a tinge of anxiety runs through my head. The worst that could happen is she finds out and I have to distance myself from her. So why am I feeling this uneasy? Before I'm able to respond, someone else speaks up. Actually, Mark lives here by himself. Huh? His parents started working in Tokyo a few years ago and didn't want to commute every day, so they began renting a place in the city. Since Mark has lived here since he was a kid, his parents agreed to let him stay in this house until he graduates. Oh. Wait, then does that Does that mean we're alone with him? Not sure a group of 4 counts as being alone. Plus, trying to do anything immoral while being outnumbered 3 to 1 would be dumb on my part, considering I'm not all that strong. And Yuri has knives. Maybe not on her, but we do know that she has some. Perhaps tying me up would help you feel more at ease. I'm actually pretty into... My arm is filled with a sharp pain before I'm able to finish. That was a joke, he didn't mean it. He has a terrible sense of humor, so please try to ignore him. Whatever! I give Natsuki a wink as she tries to hide the red overtaking her face. Sayori lets out a sigh before relaxing back into her seat. Thanks for that. Well, I couldn't just let them think you were some pervert who likes being tied up. No, not for that. Thanks for cutting in after Natsuki asked that question, I appreciate it. Oh, no problem. You don't have to thank me for something like that. We've been doing this for a long time after all. Still, I'm really glad you're with me. Don't mention it. Having received honest gratitude, Sayori lightly grips the back of my sleeve. This sees the drums draw some attention as Yuri begins noticeably staring at us. Something wrong? No, nothing. Sayori has mentioned that the two of you have known each other for quite some time. I was simply wondering how long that might be, if you don't mind me asking. Me? Me asking. What the hell, this mod was doing super fine with like everything being spelled out nicely, and now in this episode there's like a whole bunch of them in a row. Maybe I just didn't pay attention properly last time, but what the hell. Although technically it's like later on in the mod, so chances are that the mistakes happen more often. I get tired from writing everything and then you're like, oh well, whatever. Sure, but what made you... Here, again, there's a word missing here. Sure, but what made you want to know now all of a sudden? Figured this would have been more of a day one kind of thing. Well, seeing you together like this made me curious. It's because you're always lovey-dovey with each other. Huh? I see, should have guessed that was the reason. Well, calling us lovey-dovey isn't exactly right. It's true that Sayori is the person I'm closest to. As for how long we've known each other, we first met in our second year of elementary school. There used to be a playground near here that I began going to frequently, but not for any specific reason. I wasn't the most social kid, so I'd usually pass the time by sitting along at a bench. You? Not social? Who would have thought? Thanks for that, Natsuki, I appreciate it. Anyway, on one day, while I was minding my own business, a loud, cobra-headed girl came up to me. She began asking all sorts of questions about who I was and what I was doing by myself. After I answered, she shook her head before calling me gloomy. She then declared she'd make me feel better and began dragging me alongside her all over the playground. I get a similar treatment whenever visiting the park after that. She grabbed me by the arm and loudly asked what should we do today before making me take part in all kinds of ridiculous games. It was so overwhelming that I never found a way to break free. Even to this day I still can't seem to shake her. Come on, Mark, you make me sound like some kind of bully. Well, I can't say for sure you weren't one, but the time we spent together really was enjoyable. In fact, it was about the only thing I looked forward to back then. I see. Sayori speaks this out as blush continues to mask her face. Being around someone you're that close to must be nice. I don't know. You've known each other since elementary school, attended the same high school, and now you're in the same club? I assure you, the two of you aren't more than just friends. There are several seconds of silence in the room as Natsuki asks this. However, that silence is soon filled up with panicked voices. What are you talking about, Natsuki? You know we're not like that. Right, Mark? That's correct, the two of us are not dating. Phew. See, I told you. Because we're actually engaged. More silence. Engaged? I had no idea. What? After watching them struggle to form complete sentences for a while, I decide to hit the brakes. Calm down, I'm only messing with you. Me and Sayori aren't engaged, nor are we dating. All three girls breathe a sigh of relief in unison. Your sense of humor really is terrible, you know? It's been brought to my attention. And I don't intend to change anything. A joke, I see. I'll admit that your tone had me fully convinced you were speaking the truth. Seriously? Okay, say stuff like that with a straight face. Are normal guys supposed to get flustered when these things come out? Define normal. The opposite of you. That a fact? As my style of comedy is being slandered by the short one. Oh, get burned, Natsuki! I noticed Sayori continuing to fidget from my engagement declaration. What are you all embarrassed for? This isn't the first time I've said something along those lines. Oh, I know, but it's been a long time. Don't you think saying things like that is a little weird now that we're in high school? I mean, we are old enough. Wait, so this isn't the first time you've told someone you're engaged? I don't recall saying it was, but no. For some reason, whenever someone we know sees Sayori and me together, they always ask something along the lines of, Are you two a couple? Of course, my number of social interactions is fairly small, but it still managed to pop up over the years. Eventually I began saying we were engaged to keep myself entertained. That's a weird way of keeping yourself entertained. I won't deny that, but like Sayori mentioned, you're probably the first person to ask us since, say, middle school? I can understand Sayori's reaction if that's the case. That was several years ago. Yeah, what she said. I see. Sayori continues to awkwardly poke her fingers together as the other two girls look at me with confusion. Anyway, putting that aside, what were the three of you planning to do for the meeting once we actually got here? We've already wasted quite a bit of time after all. I figured we just do what we normally do in the club room. That's what my expectation... That's what my expectation was as well. Again, we're missing words here. Or you remove what, or you add was. That's what my expectation was as well, or that's my expectation as well. I made sure to bring along a book with me. Same here, it's not like there's a reason for us to do anything special. Very well. Though I must apologize, Natsuki, for we don't have any closets on the first floor. Perhaps you could use one of the cabinets under the sink instead. Shut up, it's not like I gotta hide just to read my book. Are relieving to hear. The girls soon begin rummaging through their bags, which leaves me in an odd position considering mine is still in the kitchen. Realizing this, I stand up from the couch before picking up the drink tray. Would any of you like more tea? Yuri and Sayori politely decline my offer, while Natsuki grunts in rejection. After placing the dishes in the sink, I start rinsing them with warm water. While looking at the kettle and cups, a jolt of pain rushes through my chest. What the hell? This feeling... Whoa, what the hell? While setting my cup down, I notice... looking up at me from beside the corner. What the fuck? What the fuck? So, did you like the tea? The bottled one from the convenience store is better. Oh, is that right? You sure drank it awfully quick though. Mind explaining that? I was just thirsty. It's not like it was good or anything. That's a shame. But I do suppose this makes my life easier. No point in making tea for ungrateful little punks after all. Hey! Standing up from the chair, I rush over and stand next to... Guessing you liked it after all. Well, I fidget awkwardly with my fingers. You can be such a tsundere sometimes, Mark. You know that? A tsundere? Is that one of the animals you're always reading about? Calling them animals might be going a bit far, but they are capable predators. Give them a chance and they'd eat up a cute little kid like you in seconds. Sounds scary. That they are. Do try and be wary of them. Okay. I look into the sink and watch as hands delicately wipe over the dishes. You know, I could teach you how to make tea like this if you want. Huh? Is it making tea something only older people do? You calling me old, little punk? A wet hand drives into the top of my head. Ow, sorry. Anyways, no, it's not something only older people do. In fact, I learned how to make tea when I was around your age. Getting through life will be impossible if you always hide behind excuses like I'm too young or I'll wait until later. You'll be starting middle school here in a few years. It's about time you learn how to do stuff like this. I won't always be around to spoil you, you know? It's the same thing you said when you taught me how to clean the house. This isn't gonna turn into another lecture, right? Oh, and what if it does? I quickly cut away from the imitation in her voice, but instead of striking me, gently rests her head on my head. I'm serious, you should learn how to provide for yourself as soon as possible. Wouldn't want to make your worry after all. My face becomes hot with embarrassment as I'm met with a genuine smile. I know. But what about What the fuck? That's the same. I mean, it's both gibberish, but it's the same gibberish. Are they supposed to teach me how to do stuff like that? Yes, but... Okay, the tightness in my chest continues to constrict me as there's an intense throbbing sensation in my head. Damn it, damn it. While muttering this, a hot, stinging pain creeps up my arm. I looked down and see that a cup had broken and my hand had been sliced open by a jagged edge. I tried to get my breathing under control as bright red blood flows out before being washed down the drain. What the hell was that? Why remember it now? Tears begin forming in my eyes, but I'm unsure if they're from sorrow, anger, or the pain. I grab a clean dish rag and immediately wrap my lacerated palm in it. The sound of footsteps grow closer as I turn off the faucet. Mark? She jumps a bit in surprise upon seeing me, likely due to whatever expression I'm currently wearing. However, her eyes don't stay on my face for long. Your hand! What happened? One of the cups broke in the sink. I was careless and cut myself on it. But you're bleeding a lot. Here, I'll call an ambulance. You're overreacting. The cut didn't look deep enough to need stitches, so don't worry so much. I'm going upstairs to use the first aid kit. Tell the others they're free to leave whenever they want. But Mark, that looks really bad. Are you sure we shouldn't? It's fine, just go tell the others. For a second time today, my voice comes out seething with anger. Right. So not to waste time feeling guilty, I begin heading towards my bedroom. There, that should be good enough. The first aid kit had everything necessary to clean the wound and properly wrap my hands. While it wasn't deep enough to warrant stitches, there's still a decent chance it'll scar without more treatment. To think I could injure myself without even noticing. A faint pain rushes through my head as I rack my brain looking for the memory from earlier. This endeavor proves to be fruitless, leaving me with only vague understanding of what it was about. Sinking feeling builds up in my chest as I stare at the bandages. Come in. Oh, hi Yuri. Pardon my intrusion. Yuri? Why did you come up here? Sayori told us that a glass broke while you were washing the dishes. She also mentioned you appeared to have been injured. I see. There's something strange about the way Yuri looks at me now. Oh no, never mind. At my now bandaged hand. But I'm not sure what exactly. Maybe she doesn't handle the sight of blood very well. Oh, well, I'm pretty sure she does. So did the others send you to check on me? Figured Sayori would have been the one chosen to do that. Actually, I was going to offer my assistance in lending you first aid. I'm somewhat familiar with the treatment of lacerations. Yeah, we all know why. Guess the unable to hand blood thing was off the mark. Maybe it just was my imagination. That's surprising to hear. You don't strike me as the type who got scrapes and bruises while running around as a kid. Well, I once read a medical journal that my father had, and I also took a first aid class back in middle school. I see. Well, you're free to look at it and tell me if I messed up anyway. I held my hand up in Yuri's direction, signaling her to come closer. Are you sure I'm not technically licensed? Aw, cutie. Hey, were you the one who came to offer her assistance? Or were you only planning to stand there and watch the whole time? I suppose not. Then it's fine, I've already done all the heavy lifting. But having a second opinion never hurts. Very well, in that case, Yuri hesitantly walks across my room to the bed that I'm currently sat on. Upon getting close, she begins awkwardly tilting her head while examining my hands. You can take a seat, you know, I don't bite. Oh, right. With this, she nervously yet elegantly takes a seat next to me. After staring for a more few seconds, she surprises me by taking my hands in hers and shifting it around in order to get a more thorough examination. Did you apply any disinfectant to the wound? Yeah, I used one of the rubbing alcohol wipes that came in the kit. That's good. I'm assuming you have more to reapply when necessary. Yes, ma'am. After a few more seconds, she releases me with a satisfied look on her face. So how's the situation, Doc? I'm impressed, Mark. You appear to be quite skillful in handling this kind of injury. Do you have any formal training? Not exactly. I suppose I just have a bit of experience when it comes to this sort of thing. I see. Skills such as first aid are rather important when you live alone. Yeah, something like that. Not wanting to continue this discussion, I stand up from the bed. She soon follows suit. Have the others already left? If not, we should tell them everything's under control. They both seemed worried when you went upstairs, so I doubt they've left. Both, huh? Even Natsuki? Well, she wouldn't say something like that out loud, but she became unable to concentrate on her manga after hearing about your injury. Yeah, sounds about right. Alright then, let's head back. There's a complete silence in the living room as we reach the bottom of the stairs. Sayori sits with a gloomy look on her face while Natsuki stares blankly at the cover of her book. Yo! They both jump in surprise at the sound of my voice. Mark, thank goodness! Are you okay? Were you able to treat it? Yep, here, have a look. I hold up my bandaged hand and give it a twirl. Certainly took you long enough. You better not have been doing anything weird to Yuri up there. Don't worry, we stuck to simple over-the-clothes stuff. That's right. It was already wrapped when I touched it. The room returns to being dead silent for a moment. Wow, even I'm a little surprised. I had no idea you could be so bold, Yuri. Bold? Touch? You touched? What the hell were you talking about? His hand, of course. He had already bandaged it by the time I went upstairs. Gah! Sayori and Natsuki collapse as their souls escape from their bodies. I'm sorry, but did something happen? Beats me. We should probably just leave them alone for now. Oh, and please never change. You're perfect the way you are. Huh? Gotta wonder if it will always be like this when dealing with these three. I love how Yuri doesn't really realize what she possibly implied. She's like, huh? Why is everyone acting weird? And then I'm just like, oh, I don't know, Yuri. My temples tighten in fear of the possibility. After talking for a while longer and ultimately not doing anything productive, the girls decide to adjourn the meeting. Natsuki and Yuri leave my house together after we exchange goodbyes. Sayori looks tempted to join them but stops short of the door. Mark? About what happened earlier? Maybe having everyone come over wasn't a good idea. I'm sorry. She stares at the floor, waiting for me to pass some kind of judgment. Sigh. You really need to get rid of that habit. Huh? Ever since we were kids, you'd always take responsibility whenever something bad happens, even when it wasn't your fault whatsoever. You're right that having them come over here was a bad idea, but I weighed the options beforehand. I knew what I was getting into, so you don't have to feel at fault. Of course, I had no idea that the outcome would end up being what it was. What happened? You hurt yourself doing dishes and then when I talked to you, you seemed really upset. Sorry, I shouldn't have asked. You don't have to apologize for caring about me, Sayori. I'm glad you're always willing to try and help. But it's complicated. I'm not sure I'd be able to explain what happened, even if I wanted to. I placed my hand on her shoulder to try and comfort her. If I ever have a serious problem, you'll be the first person I turn to, alright? She gives a light nod. Good. Now you should head home before anyone starts wondering where you are. Right. I'll see you tomorrow, Mark. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. The next several minutes were spent cleaning glass out of the sink, while trying to recall the details of my earlier memory. This ultimately leads nowhere, leaving me with little more than a vague sense of déjà vu. I was able to grow closer to the girls at the very least, though the cost of that hasn't exactly been determined yet. Letting out a sigh, I decided to call it a day. After preparing and eating a small dinner, I head to my room for the night. Friday, spring semester, April 15th. Alright, so, how is this going? Oh wow, so Sayori's on 17. Somehow Natsuki's on 6, and Monika's still on 0. That's kind of... I feel kind of bad for Monika. Oh well, there will be a Monika route eventually. Because I'm pretty sure there is one. Okay, so mostly affectionate towards Sayori. Also, what did that say? Route scene available. And intelligence and sociability are high and have done anything. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that when you do that, it's when you meet Monika more often. Exiting my house, I noticed I'm around 25 minutes earlier than usual. Looks like waking up before the alarm really threw me off. Well, now what? Sayori isn't a morning person and Kiba can be pretty hit or miss. Could just go alone. Maybe use the extra free time at school to read. You always talk to yourself like that? A pink-haired girl with a disapproving look on her face stands a few feet away. Are you lost, kid? The elementary school is that way. Oh, burn! The hell you say? Hey, what you say? What you say? Not even 8 in the morning and Natsuki's already fuming. Can't get much more successful than that. Oh, sorry Natsuki, I didn't recognize you. Must still be a bit sleepy. Being around you really does piss me off, you know. Yeah, I never would have guessed. Consider this a learning opportunity. Wouldn't want you becoming complacent around strange men after all. Calling you strange would be an understatement. But whatever. I don't have time for this right now. Meaning what she says, Natsuki walks past me. Not having anything else to do, I follow after her. She angrily looks my way before we've even gone 5 feet. Is there a reason you're following me? My school is this way. Is that a problem? Ugh. Not having a comeback, she lets out a before turning back around. After 2 minutes pass, about 2 minutes pass before she speaks up again. Weren't you waiting for Sayori? Kinda, but not exactly. That's supposed to mean something? We don't always walk to school together, but the chances I would walk with her aren't 0. Oh, wouldn't you be upset that you're walking with another girl? A mischievous smirk creeps across her face. Upset, huh? You better off not knowing the answers to that. Wait, seriously? Judging from the way you asked, is that not the response you were aiming for? Well, for all the talk about how the two of you aren't like that, I don't think anyone is convinced. Whether people are convinced or not doesn't matter. It's the truth regardless. Then why say that I'd be better off not knowing? Would she probably get jealous and ignore me if she finds out be a better answer? I guess not. Wait, is that actually true? Ugh. Seeing the curiosity on Natsuki's face, I decide that there is no harm in talking about this particular subject. Ever since we became friends, Sayori has been territorial. Whenever another girl talked to or complained me, or complimented me, she basically shut me out for a few days. It usually ended with me having to apologize for something I didn't even realize had happened. She made you apologize? Something like that, yes. Whoa, what the fuck? Natsuki! What the hell are you doing? Her body twists in an unnatural form. Her sudden burst of laughter catches me off guard. Something funny about what I said, you punk? There's no answer, she continues laughing at what seems like my expense. Several seconds pass before she manages to settle down. Mind telling me what that was about? Yeah, sounds like she's got her leash on you pretty tight. More giggling. A leash, huh? Is that a bad thing? Huh? You know I was joking, right? Yes, but that doesn't mean you were entirely wrong. Though leash might not be the best word to describe it. What does that mean? Using Natsuki as a sounding board, I begin thinking aloud. Sayori is not the only one who feels that way. Seeing her suddenly hanging out with other guys would probably make me feel jealous as well. At least that's what seems most plausible. Don't really know for sure. Ours probably isn't the healthiest form of friendship, but that's how things are. Feeling something along those lines is probably natural when you've known each other for so long. Somewhat for so long. Humans are selfish creatures. Monopolizing on things we enjoy is instinctual, even if that thing is friendship. Natsuki stares blankly at me before letting out a sigh. See, this is why people think you're more than friends. And there's a reason you talk about relationships like the rocket... And is there a reason you talk about relationships like the rocket science? Probably because my understanding of the two is comparable. Another sigh. Jeez, how hopeless is this guy? She shakes her head in disapproval. In doing so, her tension ends up landing on my head. Don't worry, the injury wasn't bad. Imagine I'll have the bandages off within a week. Unaware of how obvious she was being, Natsuki jumps a little in surprise. And it's not like I care. Oh, even though you were staring? Then perhaps your interest stems from a blood fetish instead. Of course not, idiot, dummy, moron! The rage in Natsuki's eyes began drilling a hole in my skull. If that's not the reason, why were you so entranced? Who said anything about being entranced? It's just, she averts her eyes. Yuri would have been upset if you had to miss the club because of an injury. That probably isn't a lie, but I get the feeling she's also not giving me the whole truth. Yeah, to think a tsundere would call me for not knowing about relationships. Kinda stings, honestly. Tsundere? The hell's that supposed to mean? Nothing really. If you think I'm ever going to act daddy towards you, just know that you're out of luck. So you're admitting that you are a tsundere then? Of course not, it was a metaphor, dummy! Jeez. The bright red color on Natsuki's face stems from a blend of embarrassment and anger. Natsuki seems almost relieved that we'll be parting ways as we approach the school. After a brief farewell, she darts towards the cafeteria, leaving me alone in the entrance. Lunchtime. There you are. Alright, I'll end it off here. So yeah, I've got some more history about MC's traumatic past, which we're gonna have to uncover at one point or another. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Click the like button if you did, subscribe to join the Roman army, and I'll see you in the next one. See you later, Romans. Well, hit there.